TikTok checking some of our advertising for one of my businesses, and I not trying to be like looking at that. It's very addictive. This girl, I mean, there's something about like girls with the vampire teeth. I don't mean like putting on fake vampire teeth, but like they naturally have like sharp canines, bro. Just smoke show. I don't know what her body looks like, but she is like a seraphim, just gorgeous. And then she says that her dad was a meth addict. Oh, and then I said like BPD vibes for show. Yeah, I replied to the thread to the comment section. She giggled. I'm like, oh no, this is creepy. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then I'm like, I decided to DM her like, if you ever want to go to New York, I'll fly you in. Put you up in a nice hotel. And then she sent back a wink smiley face, and I'm like, maybe is this the new thing? Like, can I just do this? I have my Asian autistic girl I'm dating, who is fine, but then there's this girl. How many girls I've met? Like five girls, but I met them in the IRL. There's like they do that for a living. So except for one where I met through like Twitter DMs. But this is like something new, like a new venture of just like a BPD art ho from TikTok. I feel like that's something that like DiCaprio would do if it wasn't for the fact that he just picks like supermodels, which in all honesty, I don't think the supermodels are the hottest girls. Some of them are good looking and very attractive, but like there are a lot of them, like the Victoria's Secret models or whatever, or some Wilhelmina models that aren't that gorgeous. They're not ugly, but there's like some girl that's not a supermodel. She is a model, or she is a girl displaced from her coffee shop in Kiev due to the war, and she looks like she could just smoke Giselle Bundchen in her prime. But you don't get that. You don't get any of that like, you know, affirmation from those. You don't even realize that it's out there. But it is. There's so many of them. They're a colossal waste of your time. They're such a colossal waste of your time. Let's say you do well, your business is doing well, and like you can have some disposable income, fly girls in, even take a weekend, take a week and go fly somewhere with some bitch. You're playing like a game like Steve McQueen, James Bond, because you can, but it's like eventually you'll have to go back to the real world. Every man is not going to get satiated from a woman rolling around in bed and having sex all day and going to fancy dinners and traveling. It doesn't work that way. There has to be something more. Your life cannot be about like spending like your time with a woman who just because of the way she looks. You can enjoy them, but you should be thinking about when you're going to die in a battle. When you're going to die when you're going to die killing your enemies in a police shootout when they're chasing you down after you've done the deed. That's what you should be thinking about. In the Machiavellian sense, the Sun Tzu sense, sometimes vengeance actually is a necessity. There is nothing to fall back on. Self-preservation in mediocrity, or self-preservation in the shadows of those who have wronged you. I don't know, like if your fortune was stolen from you, just like taking it up the ass, and you didn't make another one. No, you go after it. You sleep with this girl, you enjoy her, and then you die. You plan for your death because that's righteous. Maybe you do a little thing where she pretends to be a vampire and she like bites your neck a little bit because she has those her teeth were just like they were so sharp. It was so sexy. But then you you say the N word as loud as you can, shooting a black police officer that's just doing his job because you want to have the ability to do that, before you die. And it's nothing, it's like circumstantial. It's like, well, I'm not trying to kill a black person, but they're trying to kill me, and now I get to say it while I'm, shooting them. It's like I get to be one of the actors in Mississippi Burning, and that feels fucking awesome. That's okay. Like, I think that's perfectly legitimate. I don't think anyone's going to call you racist. It's just like kind of in the heat of the moment, like when you're really angry, some people misconstrue racism with like, no, I want this person to know how angry I am, and I'm going to use this word to exemplify or to symbolize that. I don't actually think that I'm better than them or that they're less than because of some superficial thing they can't control. I want to let them know how angry I am, or I'm really angry, I'm ready to go. I need them to get on my level, so I have to call them that so that he's primed. Like a Pavlovian dog thing. Again, not racist or like, trying to say they're a subprimate. What I'm trying to say is like, you just want to let the person know, hey, this is where I am. Check them. Check them. See what's up. That's what you got to do. He's already shooting at you because you killed, your family members that stole millions of dollars of equity from you after your mom died. And you raped their wives. You cut the heads off of them and put them on sticks. And then the police obviously have to do their job. And one of them just happens to be, kind of is annoyed. Almost like he's really excited about killing you. You don't like how quick he is around the corner. Like he's all about using his gun. You're like, fuck you. Maybe even call him a cracker. You just flip it. You're the black guy, and you pretend you're the cop, and he's the bad guy. And then by calling him a cracker, he's like really confused, but also really angry that you misidentified him. You misappropriated his racism towards you, which isn't really inherently applicable to like an innate hatred or like anger, because you're like, I'm a Triscuit. What am I, a wheat thin? I don't understand the point of that. Oh, assuming I owned people and I whipped them, cracker. That sounds like a compliment. That's like saying like white supremacy is offensive. Like, no, so we rule the world. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel so... Oh, white supremacy. Oh, you mean like we just kick ass and take names? Oh, you mean like we have submarines and like we took over Venezuela and stole someone's entire offshore oil supply, the largest in the world? We should be ashamed of that? Why? Because some girl that's like, post Menzies or whatever, like, hot flashes is telling us that we're bad? Because she was trained by some like Jewish teacher at some like prep school. She went to, I don't know, whatever the Iowa writing group thing, and then she also went to like RISD. Maybe she spent some time at like Sarah Lawrence. Get the fuck out of here. She didn't go to St. George's. That's where silent hoes go. That's where well-heeled, silent, submissive girls go. Not loudmouths. It's always the liberal arts colleges, all female / the like MFA thing is like where you really get some fucking animals. But there's just probably one. There's probably like some slightly overweight, Lena Dunham that's all about getting railed by some like, MAGA guy or Groyper. Like that just does it for her. Because women are sadistic like that. And I actually appreciate it. The taboos make sense. It is all about the kind of like the wrongness of it. You know what I mean? It's hot. Women are subversive by their nature. That's why they go so well with international Jewry and the destruction of the Western world. That's just the way they operate. They destroy the natural order for the sake of selfish reasons that they don't even understand. It's just inside of them. They don't have like an end game. It's just chaos for the sake thereof. So anyway, yeah, TikTok girls can be hot. I'm not saying anything more than that. I think that there's some weird addiction to all of this that's because everyone else is on it. I said the other day on the pod, like, people should go to restaurants and like take a fancy girl, like a pretty girl, to a fancy restaurant, drink wine, coffee, have lots of liquids in front of them, enjoy the day, no phones, go to a movie. But I'm starting to realize that a lot of those places are empty, and the people that are there that are well heeled, they are on their phone. Their phone is on the table. They are not living in the IRL. It's almost like it's an evolution, not a devolving or a regression into the reality that this IRL that I'm speaking to you from is a simulacrum of another virtual system. My rant on Adderall the other day, not on it today, took some, let's just run down to what I took today. So I took 34 milligrams of test, or like 32 milligrams of test, I think. Trying to go for the 100 milligram for the week over 3 days versus 2 to offset the spike in estrogen. So the levels are lower. 250 IUs of HCG, 10 milligrams of D3 so far, Jaro brand. Vitamin K2, offset some of the calcium issues there. Try to clean the system so I don't get some sort of like toxicity. I did have a coffee, but I've just started this process, and 20,000 IUs isn't that crazy. And then I took riboflavin. But yeah, the other day I was mentioning the simulations, and that I don't think it's a class issue anymore. I think so much is done in the digital sphere from like an information standpoint. Like the evolution across the economic spectrum, it's almost like you'd have to be a nostalgia shop owner to actually just walk away from everything. And in doing that, you lose all frame of reference for long-term gratification, because it's set up to be like lowest common denominator, addictive algorithms for the sake of engagement. The earliest versions of this are like searching on Google for something that you had an initial inclination to learn about or to resolve, and they purposely kept that information from you so you stayed longer on the pages, which will raise their click-through rates for ad revenue, because they can justify that with their advertisers. But I started reading Transurfing Reality today, about creating different realities from your life without don't force things, let them happen. There's this lawyer I paid in October, and they said they're like late October. Their docket was booked, and they said that likely get to court by January. And I'm really angry because it's the 14th. Now they just got back to the office on the 5th of January, so have not heard from them. But I'm like, it is annoying because they said January. And they said that in October, knowing that that's very frustrating. But it's already mid-January. See, like I'm frustrated by this. And reading the book today, the very beginning of it goes into this element of stop forcing things. Maybe don't care as much, that you don't have as much control as you think you do in terms of your focus on a subject to change it, that to actually like dominate or like change things, you have to stop focusing so much. Because I think part of what he's getting at is he's like a Russian guy, is that it's like the hyper fixation is based off of like cortisol and serotonin. Like it's a sense of worry and self-effacing ego and concern that's really not focus. Kind of like example would be like the best version of yourself is not Adderall. Like you're not actually doing more work. You're not actually super focused most of the time. You're just high and think you are. The attention you give to something is often based off of your expected outcome and the like stress of that being uncertain. But you've done everything you can. You're just literally focused on it under this delusion that by focusing without actually any further action to be taken, that you can change the outcome. Almost like you can enforce the energy of the universe to that end. And what often happens, and you can find this, you like look back at your life, when you stop thinking about something, you get it. Paradoxically. Like, my mom really wanted me to go to this top university. And I wanted to go abroad. My mom was sick. And so the concern was that I wouldn't get into the top one that's, abroad, and that I'd go to this one, which is considered one of the best universities in the world regardless. And she was really worried about that because she wanted me to be close to her and have the optionality, but also not feel bitter that I'm like making a choice. I think deep down, as selfish as mothers are, she wanted me not to get into the one in England and just stay home. But whatever. I worked so hard to have the ability to do that. Extracurriculars and APs and whatever it is, and tutoring, and I was a concert pianist. I was a cello player, but not a concert one. I really liked the cello more. My next door neighbor was also a pianist. All these things. And I didn't care about the schools because I felt like I deserved them. But my mom, from her perspective, irrationally was so worried, as a mom would be, that getting in was like winning the lottery. But when you earn it, you put in a good effort. Fair or not, life doesn't always work out this way. But like, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm so lucky, because I killed myself to do that. And I don't mean like purposely for the sake of getting this. Like, I enjoyed what I was doing extracurricularly. Sorry, I'm just looking at this weird. What is that? What an odd plane. It is a plane, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. It's just such a weird. They never take off. Weird. Flight path right over the downtown. It's so strange. Yeah, I don't feel this like, oh, relief. I feel like the relief is when you con the system. When you go all out, it's like you did everything you could have done, more or less, within reason, or not. Maybe you went crazy. Like when my friend was a drug addict and they passed away, I was like, maybe I could have like locked them to a radiator, you know? The grief counseling people, and you go to like those things, it's like maybe they all said, like, each other feel better, like we did everything we could have. Like, no, I don't think we did. I think this is just like a circle jerk. I think we could have locked the person in a radiator and brought them to a rehab, or locked them to a radiator the next day, unlock them, attach them to your wrist, put them into the trunk of your car, maybe punch them in the face a couple times, or sedate them with like an injection in their ass, like subcutaneously, of, I don't know, trazodone. Treat them like, I don't know, like a farm animal. And then you take them to a facility and they're like, oh no, they're fine. They're just a little drowsy. They want to be here. How do I file the involuntary? Oh, here's a court order. You forged it. Use Adobe. Yeah. The lies we tell ourselves. We lie to each other. We lie to ourselves so much. But also, like, everything is kind of like a game. Like, it should be playful. Like, it shouldn't be too serious. But you want to be aware of the game that you're playing and enjoy it. You don't want to be like deluding yourself. I don't know. It's complicated. All right, let's check the levels here. I never like on kick, like looking at kick. Gold, man. Gold. What are we doing? I think Intellia is going to get some news from the FDA soon. I just don't feel comfortable buying anymore. I just like to be where I am. This is the craziest offseason in the NFL. All this talent coming in, these quarterbacks, like the Oregon guy, Mendoza from Indiana. All these coaches technically available, though I think Tomlin is not going to coach this year. But it's like wild. It's absolutely wild. And frankly, as a Washington Redskins fan, I'll use that name. I don't like Commanders. But like, I don't think that we would have been in the running for a John Harbaugh, a Tomlin. Who else would you want? Like I'm trying to think of like who's like some OC that you'd like. We wouldn't be in the running because of like the situation at the quarterback level. You're coming to a team with no quarterback with a draft upcoming with like a terrible roster. So status quo, I think everything would have been the same. The brief recap of the football on a Wednesday, not Monday morning quarterback, but like still the Steelers game was interesting. It's just abundantly clear how the lack of talent that they had on the team. Um, like I don't think they could have done much more. The game plan by the Texans was unbelievable to like slow down this sort of like running back, tight end, heavy based defense. Like there's just wasn't a lot there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers' age had much to do with it. But where would he go if you like go to Miami? That would be like a fun last stop. Like call that like a bridge quarterback. Because their record is they're not going to get one of the top guys. I haven't even done any evaluations on that. But let's see here. Let's go to see what's going on in the news. What's going on? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, shut up. That's not real. That's not real. Erica Kirk and Tom Brady aren't dating. That's not real, right? Give me a break. That's not real. Please don't be real. Okay, I don't think that's real. That would really frighten me. I also don't care, but it would frighten me. Just like everything's a psyop because how much money do you possibly need to be, I don't know, break away from the matrix of having to have like fake marriages for the sake of politics or so? Like what power level do you need to achieve? What more does that get you when you're Tom Brady? Do you lose that much money in the FTX deal? It's crazy. He's already doing the huge contract with Fox for the sports broadcasting to make some of it back or all of it and some. Here we go. Let's listen to a Joe Webb and Nick clip here. Load it up.
I'll say this: I definitely is because that's
The thought crossed my mind. I wonder if he ever gets to physically attend mass. So,
well. I'll say this: I definitely have to avoid the traditional masses because that's where all the groypers are going to be,
right.
and or my biggest detractors. Um, and there have been stories floated online. People make things up. Some woman said I got yelled at traditional mass by women, and it's like that never happened. But that if you go to these things, it then becomes a forum for everybody to give me their feedback.
Right.
Which I'm not really interested in. I don't go there for that purpose.
Right.
But yeah, like everything else, it's a logistical challenge.
Yeah. I imagine aside from that and traveling, if I was you, I'd probably just want to leave my house. Do you stay home most of the time?
I do. I almost never leave.
That's what I figured. I mean, these days you can order everything, have everything delivered, so I kind of imagine you a hermit.
Yeah, but steak doesn't travel well. I know he's not a steak guy. He hates steak. He likes like chicken tendies and pizza. But if your looks max you in 2026, you got to like cut that out a little bit. You can't have that all the time. So it's either you're going Retta, you're avoiding the fries, you're eating some chicken tendies, which is like an adorable thing for like a child to say. And it's even more adorable because it's Nick Fuentes. This is like childlike purity. But the whole like, okay, you just, I am a person that believes that to really enjoy crap food, you have to like be a glutton. Like having a slice of pizza, the reason why my ex-BPD girlfriend would look like a smoke show and we're eating the same things is she just didn't eat the entire pizza. I ate it. That's why I get fat. And it's like, okay, what is the point? Is it really that good to have a slice of pizza? I guess it is. But you're going to be hungry later. It'd be so much better just to have like a steak and a baked potato and you're done. If you have a steak and eggs and a baked potato in the morning, I'm pretty sure you don't need to eat the rest of the day based on my own experience for most people. Even dinner, you'd be like, I'm good. That type of food, it just especially eggs, it lasts, man. And you're on Retta, forget about it. I did Retta today. I forgot to mention. I did 1.3. So I'm sorry, 2 milligrams, 1.3 milligrams. I think one be 1.4. 1.4 kind of pushing it into that weird range of like getting some side effects of some nausea, but it's very mild. When I first did it, I did like 1 and I felt it instantly. I think my body's used to it now. And I was starting to get hungry again. It's like a psychological thing where you feel I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my time right now. I think I'm supposed to eat. And then it changes to, oh, you know what would be really good right now? When you're on Retta, you're like, you forget to eat and you have to remind yourself, oh, I haven't, like these physical mannerisms of like mouth fixations of just like feeding yourself. Those things are what bring you back to food more than the hunger. And then when it starts to become the hunger again, it's time for your dose. So Thursday last week, Wednesday today. Okay, I started to feel it. I took some today. Fine, no big deal. It also cuts down on your like sexual cravings, I would say. Your desire for drugs, your desire for like, I'd love to go for a walk right now and then go to church and pray. That's like what I feel like doing. I'd love to go for a nice walk and play with animals in the park, preferably my own so I don't look like a weirdo. Like I've said before, can I pet your dog? You get to a certain age, people just think you're a freak. It really sucks when your fiance passes away, and then you like date, and now you're getting older, and you're like, shit, I have to get married so I don't look like an old weird freak. And I'm not rich enough to just be single. I don't think like date still. I mean, I guess I am, but I've always dreamed it would be like $100 million, like, and I would like have a yacht and like no one would care. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this year is my year. Okay, let's look at the market a little bit. Biohaven circling the wagons in a reversal here. It's just such a volatile stock. So much in the pipeline. Such a good JP Morgan Health Conference and some of the indicators. The preliminary data looks good. SMCI, one of the largest stocks to be sure. Like, if it does produce, you're going to have a squeeze of epic proportions. Can we get Sarepta over 25, please? This was an $80, $100 stock. This is insane. 130. This is crazy. Are we just waiting for another death? I'd like to see a little bit more here. Is ASRT have the non-opioid painkiller? Is that why I'm invested in it? I can't even remember. AVXL, garbage company, just circling the wagons here. Same thing with like QBTS. Like, hey, can we just go back to the basement here? You're not a $30 stock. Photonic computing is 5 or 10 years away, and it's not going to involve you. Not really. But I digress. Back to the news. Let's see what else is going on. Banned off Twitter right now.
Wait, if you miss this one, say oy vey.
No, it's not what I mean.
Oh shit. How do you not know what that means?
You're fucking with me, like,
I swear to God. So what do you say?
oh, bang.
There you go.
That girl has a nice ass. Good job, Clav. I love how you said the other day, like, I just like don't even see the point of sitting down with a woman at dinner. It's like they have nothing to say, I have nothing to say. What's the point of it? Like the whole thing is like the magic of like taking care of someone. That's what's fun about it. Like they're enamored by your ability to like take them to a fancy dinner, especially younger girls. They get older, they just don't give a shit. They actually almost go, this isn't practical. I got an Uber Black for a girl once. It's like an older, like, you know, mom type person. And she was like, that's not necessary. I'm like, well, I'm trying to make you comfortable, but also I'm just trying to get laid. And you look like, you know, you could use a nice night out. And that was it. I dated her a few times and I'm like, this is like, where's the magic? See, that's the thing. You don't rate rich girls because their daddies have already taken them to Paris. You date young girls. That's where they attack. They like. That's what you do. It's not a predatory thing. It's just like women become so jaded, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Epstein was not a pedophile. He was an ephebophile, Dean Withers. You silly fuck. Liking 17-year-old girls is not pedophilia. It's like perfectly normal. There's a Cambridge study, if you don't believe it, a Cambridge study on this. It was publicly published like in 2017 about how ephebophilia is perfectly normal. Objectively speaking, the sexualization of people in Hollywood, look at them and look at their ages and say, why would you try to sell movies and sex appeal with these people if what you're saying is true? It's a double standard. He used women that were like statutorily underage, like 17 in an 18-year-old state, 16 in a 17-year-old state of legal consent. And then they're like 5'10" because they model, or they're tall and lanky and elegant looking, to entrap men so that there was plausible deniability that they weren't doing anything wrong. It's a brilliant con. Because no one's going to care. Hey, that girl who has, you know, C-cup tits and is 5'10", I didn't know she was 15 years old. Why would you? Do you think she's going to be any smarter when she's 20? So you have this like bloviating like billionaire guy. You know, the image of his gut on her like perfectly formed tight little ass, just like, it's disgusts so many people. Not really men. They have to pretend for like the women that they're around. Oh, this is awful, but like, it's actually even more hot that he's disgusting and rich, and she's just like doing it for the money. It's kind of hot because it's so fucked up and taboo and subversive. So Dean Withers, yeah, we get it. He's not a good person. He's a Jewish Mossad agent. And that's the crux of the matter, as Nick eloquently says, better than I can. Obviously, it is not that he is a pedophile that should be so abhorrent. In fact, it sounds like some sort of weird obfuscation of the real problem, which is taking powerful people in the United States and gaining compromat on them to manipulate and to gain influence. As I said yesterday, I think I brought this up. It's like, it's not about like the extortion or blackmail, because there's no leverage there from the victim. They have so much to lose in terms of their status. A divorce would cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. This coming out would cost them a lot of money. There's morality clauses of hedge funds and investment banks like Apollo and Leon Black. Came out much later. Thank God for him, so he could make a little bit of money. And justified paying that $163 million ransom of IRS consulting fees to Epstein himself, which is clearly just a blackmail for the sake of like something he had. It's disgusting, but it is undeniable. Undeniable. You know what I almost think? The Jewish people that they got to like put into this con, they almost like Leslie Wexner and Leon Black. Like, it's not even about like, they probably just winked like, I get it. It's for the greater good of Israel. It's for the greater good of our people. They probably weren't even that upset. It's like, good con, good job. I feel like such a stupid goy. I thought she was of age. Yeah, I know. That's the whole point, man. That's not your fault. Let's go have dinner. All right, no big deal. You just got to do what we tell you to do. You're gonna be fine. You'll be rich. You'll be. We're all gravy. That's just kind of the con. That's kind of the deal. So, yeah. In the UK, they revoke your visa if you defend free speech, but they fly you in and offer free housing if you rape girls. That Asian girl from the Rogan podcast meme. I love that shit. It's so funny. Sydney Sweeney will play an OnlyFans model in season 3 of Euphoria. Is this real? Chief Keef has reportedly been shot 6 times in the face after returning to... what are they, 22s? You get shot in the face, you get shot in the head. So what are they, like 22 caliber bullets? They're just like bee stings around his... What is that? That's so stupid. Like, he's dead. He should be dead. If he got shot 6 times in the face, he should be dead. Is Chief Keef dead? They keep bringing back Miami Vice. I dug the Moby soundtrack for Heat was really underrated. The soundtrack he did for the Colin Farrell Miami Vice is really good. It almost seems like Miami Vice, because of the black cop, white cop thing, is like a psyop. They're bringing back Mel Gibson and Danny Glover for Lethal Weapon. Who is that for, though? Because the people that watch that are way older than I am. Do they even give a fuck at this point? Danny Glover was old in Predator 2. I don't even know how that's going to work. Was he on TRT now? It's insane. Why is my face still so bloated? I mean, like, what am I supposed to do? I have to, like, stop eating. It's just not... I'm not happy. It's just not good enough. It really isn't. It just looks awful. I hate it. I hate it. I just gotta stop eating. It's like, God. Is it the testosterone that's doing it? But it's like too low? God. But my brain seems to be working okay. I don't know. Damn. All right. There's nothing going on. SPY going back up? It's kind of that weird level, down almost 1%. When it's down, it reverses 20% at 80. It usually goes. It doesn't look good. It looks like we're kind of languishing. It's why the charges are against Jerome Powell, because Trump's like, this market needs a catalyst. I agree. I don't think we're going to get crushed here, though. But we're kind of just languishing. So in a matter of a month, we're going to take out the president of a foreign country, steal their oil, and then we're going to bomb Iran. It's crazy, isn't it? And like justified under the pretense of one, drug smuggling, the other, innocent Iranian civilians are rising up. But just in December or November, Israel was talking to Benjamin Netanyahu was talking to the Iranian people to rise up against their government. And now synthetically, I think, you have this like fake uprising to be the pretense for the United States coming in to protect the citizens of Iran, as if we give a fuck. It's very weird. It's like, let's undermine the caliphate for the Abraham Accords in Greater Israel for the sake of putting up condos in the Gaza Strip and solidifying the kind of Greater Israel border, and moving on to Russia and China more directly. As if like all the aid we give to Israel won't be sold to China, as they sell many of the weapons we give them. They won't give some stuff to some terrorist cells in the Middle East. Of course they will. It's just like such a joke. It's interesting, the brain interface / silent speech interface using the neuromuscular signals from the brain, like EEG brain waves. The very beginning of using kind of like for disabled people to communicate, that's the initial goal, is to improve the lives of those who have some sort of developmental disorder or an injury. That's what Neuralink's kind of modus operandi was, their flagship kind of message of like solving neurological problems for people with spinal cord injuries and so on and so forth. Alter ego cognition with an X, same thing. I think the next paradigm is like the interface into the brain that is not invasive, but is completely immersive. Like if I can search Google in my head, if I can do virtual reality just like without putting a headset on, that's very cool. There was a woman in the 70s. They drilled a hole in her head. I don't remember what the issue was. Maybe they were trying to solve her depression. They put an electrode somewhere and they gave her a clicker, and she could like make herself come constantly. And she became so addicted to it. I think she died from like coming. She just pressed the button over and over again. That is where I see people going. There's something so undignified about that. It's so anti-nature, unnatural. It's so disgusting. Think of that movie like with what's her name? Nicole Kidman, The Invasion, where people like all these zombies, this like alien race infect everyone. They like kill the dogs. The dogs are like running. Like I feel like ignoring the natural order, our connection to the earth, it's like distorted by this. It seems very unhealthy. I like the Ted Kaczynski like technological manifesto about the dangers of this sort of singularity, not just from like a Big Brother perspective, but just in terms of like the quality of life and the natural order of things as it relates to our presence and our responsibility on this planet, whether it's simulated or not. The purpose of the simulation should be to live in the simulation, not escape it. At least to some degree, right? It would be really funny if there's a temperature in terms of large language models that is a thermodynamics issue in terms of AGI, and we like can't get there unless we become like a Khrushchev 3 planet. Or 2, probably. Khrushchev 2. Harnessing the power of the sun's power to wield energy and forget about all the fossil fuels and power plants or whatever to fuel data centers. Like it becomes something far more amazing. But like it seems like the capitalist version of this is to turn everyone into a battery, or to make everyone a subscriber to something to escape the shitty life that they've made. Create the problem, offer the solution, destroy mankind. And the question is like it's not very particularly intelligent to like see this end. The question is what can you do about it without force feeding yourself the natural world, without like being kind of like a monk. You know what I mean? You can be like Ted Kaczynski. I don't think the natural order of things is being like Trump necessarily and eating McDonald's and I don't know, just enjoying being a sellout, or basically having someone, you're so worried about your legacy after you die that you're not living in the present. So you're just, concerned, I guess, maybe about your children, which is legitimate. But other than that, it seems to be being Trump right now. Other than recently, he's definitely saying fuck you to the plant worker who called him a pedophile protector. That's based. Taking Maduro's shit. That's based. Bombing Iran, iffy. It's not, it is what it is, I guess. But I get a certain age, you just stop fucking, it's just like you just move on to other things. Is there a trade here, end of day? What do we think? How long have I streamed for? We got a trade here? What's the trade? See, I think it's best to stay out. I think Sarepta seems to be wanting to like move up. I think you have to think about taking a position there after the reversal. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna go get a salad, even though I feel like I should just do cocaine and not eat. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.